keeping track of files in a digital world, sorting and naming. In this video, I would like to talk about a few strategies that you should apply consistently to keep yourself organized across your courses, across your online learning, as you head into student teaching, as you head into the world in general. Often, organizational systems get applied too late to our world. And then we feel like we have to backtrack and reorganize every file we've ever had on our computers, and that feels overwhelming, so we just don't do it. So in this video, let's talk about a couple of things that you can implement right away to help you move forward successfully, especially this fall in a world of COVID-19. One of the first things you can do on your laptop is create a custom desktop like the one that you're seeing right here. Even if you store most of your work in Google Drive, chances are there are some documents and folders that are saved to your hard drive, on your laptop, on your desktop, that you want to be able to get to quickly. And rather than keep just a decorative wallpaper on my desktop, I've made one for myself that lets me have categories of documents that I need to get to quickly. So I found a pretty wallpaper online that I liked, and I just put it onto a PowerPoint slide or a Google slide. That would work too. And I filled the whole slide with that image. And then I made some boxes and I made them transparent. And then I found a really cool washi tape image online, and I'll share a link to that on Moodle with you if you like that, to kind of make these squares look like they're taped to my desktop, and I added some labels. So now I have some essential documents that are always on my desktop that I use all of the time. They're marked essential. I have some stuff that needs just a temporary spot to stick so I can find it for something. I have faculty resources that I don't really have another category for, right? These are like my travel paperwork and things. But you can make these categories anything that you want. Maybe you've got a campus club, maybe you have a class or two classes, or maybe all of your classes that you want some things like your syllabi. Maybe you want those right on your desktop, easy to get all of the time. So this is one thing that you can do to really kind of keep your files organized. The second thing that you can do is be smarter about how you're using your Google Drive. So just like email labels and other things, they show up in black or gray. And if you don't know that you can color code them, you may never ever right click on anything. So your Google Drive interface is going to have, just like Finder or Windows Explorer, is going to have folders and then individual files. And it's important to remember to keep these stacked and organized in a way that's going to be really, really useful to you. Don't just randomly dump everything into your Google Drive. Make use of those folders, right? So one of the things I recommend that you do as you're making folders is make a folder for each semester that you've ever been in as or ever will be in as, right? So then within that folder, of course, you're going to make a folder for each of your classes. 80, 305, 505, foundations, right? 80, 308, 508, lesson planning. Right? So, and then anything regarding those classes is going to end up in that course folder. Even more importantly, though, is that, if you didn't want to go by semester, if you just wanted to put a folder named My Courses on there, you can also color code these courses. Maybe it's a PEQ. Maybe you want all your art ed courses in a green label, right? So that as you're scanning and as you're working across courses very quickly, you can more easily track amongst the many folders that you've got in different categories. So that's one thing that you can do, right? And I'm going to go ahead. I don't really like to have stray documents in my Google Drive. On my main drag in my drive, I like everything to be in a folder, because one of the things that Google does that I don't like is that they're going to put all your folders on the top and then all of your stray documents at the bottom. They're not going to, and each of those things will be alphabetized. Folders will be alphabetized, the stray documents will be alphabetized, but they're not all going to be alphabetized together. So I like everything in a folder because I don't like searching for those stray documents on my main page. That's just me. But the other thing that you can see and do in here is make sure that you're naming things well. So look at these two documents. These are assignment sheets. As your teacher, I always label things to help you find them when you're seeing them in Google Drive. So I'll always put the course number there and kind of it's an assignment sheet or it's your grading rubric, right? Those kinds of things. And then I'll give you the details on what it is. You should use a similar naming process for everything that you make. Right. And for me, if you're taking classes with me, this is required, right? It drives me crazy when you all turn in papers at the end of the semester and they all say final paper. Now I teach 3 to 4 classes a semester. And if everybody's turning in a final paper to me that's called final paper, then I have no way to quickly organize your papers and then grade them quickly and efficiently and get you some feedback, right? It's annoying to have 60 people turn in something called final paper. I have to take time to open it up and figure out who sent it to me, and then I have to put it in a particular folder. And that, be smart here about interacting with your professors. If we're irritated because we lost an hour of grading time organizing 60, 100 documents, right? Think about your PEQ teachers who are teaching classes with 30 or 40 people in them, and they are teaching 4 of those. So they've got, 100 papers to grade. If they've lost an hour organizing and putting your name on things so that they can know which class you're in, then you're setting yourself up negatively when they get to grading. Not that it's going to affect your grade, but it's going to affect their irritability level and their patience, right? So work smarter about this, right? Be a team player. Remember, you're becoming a professional, and teachers who are going to be turning things in to principals or superintendents or to other advocates, they want to be able to find your paperwork very quickly and very easily and know that it's yours. And when you do awesome stuff, to give you credit for it. So the moral of the story here is when you're naming things right away, right, the best thing that you can do is to put your last name in every single document title, right? And then the course number for that assignment, and then name of the assignment, right? Maybe it's your ECU number 1, maybe it's your paper doll reflection, whatever it is. And of course, if you're writing an APA paper, or any other kind of essay, you're going to want to put your name at the top of the actual paper as well, but you always want to make sure the file name has at least your last name in it. You're going to get bonus points for putting your last name in it and the course number in it, so that when your teacher is getting a lot of them, they can just put them all in an individual course folder. And then they're also going to have all of your papers alphabetized. That's going to help us get you feedback faster because we know that we have everybody's, or we know whose we're missing, right? That's the other thing. If you've ever had a teacher say, well, I don't think you turned it in, you're like, yes, I did. Chances are you didn't name it well. And when, again, they're dealing with 100 papers, right, something gets moved or renamed with somebody else's name. If your name is already on it and they can scroll down a list of files and see who's missing and who's not, chances are, I know me, if I'm expecting a paper from everybody and I haven't had a conversation about somebody being sick or out of town or having some kind of extenuating circumstances, and I don't get a paper from you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and go, hey, I don't have something from you. Where is it? And the sooner that I can do that, the sooner you can realize that something didn't get to me, that's a good thing, right? You're building trust and rapport and professional behaviors and all kinds of other things. So name your files, name your papers, make sure your last name gets in there. And this is also going to help you when you're kind of looking for things in your Google Drive. If it didn't get in that folder, right, it's much easier now to search for something and have everything that has that course name in it pop up, right? You're not going to have 10 files that say final paper, that's final papers across multiple semesters and multiple courses. So work smart here, not hard.